We welcome in CBS Sports analyst Tim Doyle and John Gonzalez. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. It was a wild one once again. The Pacers did it. They stole not one, two on the road at Madison Square Garden. After the Knicks came back from being down 10 early in this game, it was close. This game was tied at 81 going into the fourth. At that point, guys, this is a brand new game. Forget about who didn't have a good first half. It's a clean slate. Tim, let's start with you. Your reaction on how Indiana was able to pull away.
I mean, my cold-blooded New York reaction is this sucks that this series is going to end so fast because these games have been so much fun to watch. There's been so much electricity there in the Garden. But eyeball test to me, John and K. Rich, is that the Pacers are better. I don't know what else to say. The Knicks can't stop them, John. Pacers shot nearly 60% just on two-point shots and 43% on three. And every time the Knicks needed a key stop, John, they just couldn't get it.
John, I'd like to dig in deeper of what Tim just said there. Do you think the Indiana Pacers are just a better team? Because this game was close almost throughout the entirety of it. I really like what New York did on the boards, especially the offensive glass, giving their team second chance looks. But at the end of the day, it's just not enough. Do you agree with Tim?
Yeah, I mean, look, Mitchell Robinson was really good tonight. He ended up playing down the stretch in lieu of Cat, and I think part of that might have been that they were attacking Cat in the pick and roll. But yeah, I had the Pacers in 6 in this series. I think that they're the better complete team. Maybe, like the Knicks, all credit to them. They beat the defending champion Boston Celtics, and I think that everybody, the vibes, the energy, the emotion, everybody was having a really good time after that series. They were bing-bonging all over the city. But I think maybe they missed out on, hey, the Pacers have been an excellent basketball team since January 1. Only Oklahoma City has won more games in the regular season and the postseason than the Indiana Pacers. They are killing it right now. Game 1, you get the Halliburton game. Game 2, you get the Pascal Siakam playoff career high 39-point game. They are now 6-1 on the road in the postseason. They've had a whole bunch of comebacks. I mean, you can't kill these guys. And now we know that if you win the first 2 games on the road, that really puts the other team up against it. All time, teams that win the first 2 games on the road are 40-5. The Pacers know it because they just did it to the Cavs, and the Knicks know it because they just did it to the Celtics. So not saying that the series is over. I'm not quite with Tim on that one, but they definitely have their work cut out for them if they want to be just the 6th team in NBA history to overcome this deficit.
John, you have said it best so far. The Pacers are showing us that they can win in different ways, despite the first half not being ideal for Indiana. Tyrese Halliburton scored his first bucket with 2 minutes left in the half, held only to 2 points at the break. But it was, as you mentioned, Pascal Siakam who had the hot hand early, 23 points at the half, 1 point shy of a 40-piece. Tim, what does it say when your star in Halliburton can have a bad first half, but his teammate, Pascal Siakam, step up and essentially will this team to a win?
Gotta be honest, it's got to be one of the worst bets I've ever made in the history of my gambling. Before the game we were on, and I gave out Pascal Siakam under 17.5 points. He had 18 points with 2 minutes into the second quarter. It was one of the easiest losses I've ever had in my entire career. But this is the advantage the Pacers had coming in to the series, is I believe they were just a deeper squad. And this is a game where Siakam goes off. I thought Miles Turner made some enormous shots. Nembhard's made some big shots throughout the playoffs. Nesmith, obviously the 6 threes in the fourth quarter in game number 1. And now this game, McConnell has 10 off the bench. Ben Shepherd, in his 70s mustache, he made some enormous plays. Big-time assists, big-time threes. It looks like to me, John, the Knicks are running out of gas. And the Pacers never looked flustered there in the fourth quarter. Even though the game got to 1 possession a few times, they never looked like they were going to lose control. And that's a testament to when you have a guy like Halliburton just constantly makes the right play, looks up the court, drops dimes to teammates. He's able to affect the game, not just scoring, but making other guys better.
Hey, TD, don't beat yourself up over that Siakam bet, man, because Siakam, in fairness, has been uneven during this postseason. In fact, I had spent much of the first 2 rounds killing him for making Halliburton and Mathurin and all these other guys, Neesmith and Nembhard, do all the heavy lifting. Miles Turner was considerably better for much of the postseason as their big than Siakam has been. And then all of a sudden, of course, tonight, because you make that bet, he goes for a playoff career high. But as Crystal had mentioned, Halliburton first half, he only had he had his first field goal with 2 minutes left in the first half after scoring 31 in game 1. And I think that's really a credit to the Pacers and how they go normally on normal nights 9 deep. And you had mentioned Bradley and Shepherd getting minutes tonight because Rick Carlisle was just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something would stick. But those first 9 guys are all useful pieces. They're not just running them out, with the exception maybe of Thomas Bryant, who's basically just 6 fouls walking on the court. But Rick Carlisle uses all of those guys really judiciously. They all have a role in that offense and in that defense. TJ McConnell, he was in double digits. He makes really good plays. And what I love about the Pacers, they do 2 things really well that I think they don't get enough credit for. They limit their turnovers. Tonight, just 10 turnovers. That's actually a high number for them. And then they're awesome in transition defense. They held the Knicks to just 7 fast break points. The Knicks love to get out and run, and the Pacers are really good at stopping that. So that clash of styles, those 2 matchups there where the Pacers don't get turned over and they keep the Knicks from getting out and running, that's really limited the Knicks in this series so far.
Now, guys, I want to take you back to the conference semis, round 2. Knicks, Celtics. The Knicks did a really good job on the road. It almost felt strange in game 3. It's like they didn't have a home court advantage. Looking forward, looking ahead to game 3 and game 4 on the road where the Knicks will be away, very far away from Madison Square Garden, is it a possibility that they play better towards the end of games down the stretch in games 3 and 4 to hopefully not have people bring out their brooms? Tim, we'll start with you.
I think they'll be lucky to win a game there.
Lucky?
Yeah, I think they'll be lucky to win a game there. And, we've seen this before throughout the playoffs. When you give away that game, they gave away game 1. I don't care what you said, they gave that game away. You don't lose that game. In a million years, you give that game away. It's almost similar to what happened with the Cavs. Like, the Cavs gave away a game, and then that was it. Like, the wheels just absolutely fell off. I just don't think they have the firepower. Like, there's just so many more weapons, like John mentioned, that the Pacers have that they can turn to, and there's just so much pressure on Brunson. John, I don't know about you. The fact that Brunson in the 4th quarter got into a 1-possession game on that one, I thought he got fouled on it. He was obviously pretty mad at the referee. But the fact that he, made some shots, the other shots just made it interesting to watch. But eyeball test, just like watching the game, the Pacers are just a much better team. And the Knicks blew the series by dropping game 1. And now they're going to go into hostile territory where people in Indiana, I live in the next state over. I live in Illinois, okay? They got nothing to do. I mean, they have nothing. And by the way, the weather's been miserable in the Midwest. So you got the big, bad New York Knicks coming out. The fans are going to be pissed. They're going to be hot. They're going to be yelling. It's going to be electric, and the players are going to feed off of it. I'd be shocked if they win a game.
Apologies to Indianapolis and Indiana. This is St. Elmo's erasure. You can go, you can get a nice steak, you can get some shrimp cocktail, the spicy shrimp cocktail. It's an underrated city. I'm not going to count the Knicks out on this, but Tim is right. It is very difficult to play in the Fieldhouse. All of a sudden, the Pacers go and win 2 on the road. That's tough enough, right? They're 6-1 on the road in the postseason. That's remarkable. But home court advantage, the Fieldhouse is a tough place to play. MSG is obviously a tough place to play, but I don't think some casual NBA fans realize what a home court advantage it is for the Indiana Pacers, because they do love their basketball there. They have things to do, Tim, but they do love their basketball there, so they're going to be energized. But I'm not going to count out the Knicks because, as Tim mentioned, Jalen Brunson, so much on his shoulders. He didn't have that final shot, but he was fantastic tonight. And I thought Bridges was really good in the 4th quarter. He's had so many games in this postseason where 4th quarter and overtime, that guy really comes to play. What I'm interested to see is what happens with Tibbs and Cat and Mitchell Robinson, because I think Tibbs might be overthinking it a little bit here. He takes Cat out. He only plays 28 minutes. Again, they were attacking him in the pick and roll. I get that, but you need some offensive firepower. And when you take Cat off the floor, that's a big who can shoot. Mitchell Robinson, he was hitting that offensive glass. He was getting them second chance points. He's a really good defender. but he is not a scorer by any stretch of the imagination. So you're basically playing with 4 guys when he's out on the floor. So I want to see what kind of adjustments Tibbs makes going to Indiana. Nick's not out of it, but this is going to be a really, really difficult ask for them.
And to your point, John, they will definitely hack Mitchell Robinson when he is on the floor, especially late in games, because he's not, you know, a scorer and especially struggles at times from the line. Tim Doyle, John Gonzalez, thank you so much for your time and expertise. Appreciate you both. All right, 114-109, your final. Indiana Pacers winning 2 games at Madison Square Garden, winning again previously in the year 2000. Are you old enough to remember that? More highlights coming up.